And to take it out, you just pull it out like that. What's going on, guys? Today I want to review these 3 AliExpress Aero water bottles. Now, you may have seen some pros use Aero water bottles, and the reason is because they actually do make your bike go faster by saving watts from aerodynamic drag. This bottle is basically emulating the Trek RSL Aero water bottle, and according to Trek's data, this saves about 1.8 watts compared to round bottles for the pair. These bottles are emulating the Elite Chrono CX water bottle, but I couldn't find any data for how many watts that saves. But given that it has a narrower profile than the Trek style bottle, I'm guessing that it's probably somewhere in the order of maybe 2 to 3 watts saved. I've been using these Elite style bottles since 2022, so for the past 3 years. And this Trek style bottle I've just been using for the past month or so. So if we start by looking at the Trek style bottle, which is from a company called Ahyka, we can see that it weighs 90 grams. So it's quite a lightweight bottle. If we compare that to these ones, this one is 98 grams, so it's a little bit heavier. And this one is 82 grams. So this one is the lightest, even though these ones do appear quite similar. They do have slightly different design. Obviously, this one has the dimples, this one's flat, and they also have a slightly different valve as well. In terms of the weight of the cages, the Trek Style RSL cage weighs 39 grams, and both of these bottles have the exact same kind of holster, which is this little magnet which replaces your bottle cage. You can see that I've got it over there on my bike, just there. And this weighs 18 grams. So 18 grams is roughly equivalent to an ultra lightweight regular water bottle holder like this one, which came with my Tantan bike. So you can see that you do sacrifice a little bit of weight to get these Aero water bottles, but the aerodynamic saving is going to be more beneficial if you're riding on flat roads. In terms of the cost of the water bottles, they're all very inexpensive. So that's probably not going to be a big factor differentiating the bottles. Now, one important thing to talk about is how secure the bottles are. So these Trek style bottles are very secure. You can see that they lock in really nicely, and I don't have any concern that these would ever come out if I go over a pothole. Now, unfortunately with these Elite style bottles, I have had a couple of occasions where I've gone over a pothole and the bottles actually completely come out and gone onto the road. Because although the magnet is very strong, they just don't quite have the level of grip that the Trek style or a round normal water bottle holder would have. So that's something to consider. If you're riding in a group or you're racing, I would probably recommend avoiding these water bottles unless it's like a completely flat road without potholes, and going with the Ahyka bottles just for safety. One nice feature of these Trek style cages is they can hold normal round water bottles as well. So you have that versatility. In terms of the functionality of these bottles, they're both quite similar, although I do prefer the dimpled surface just because when your hands are sweaty when you're cycling, it's a bit easier to grip. Whereas this one, because it's completely smooth, it can sometimes feel like it's almost about to slip out of your hand. In terms of the capacity of the bottles, these 2 bottles hold 500 mils and the Ahyka bottle holds 600 mils. So you do get that extra capacity. In terms of the aesthetics of the bottles, they do affect the aesthetic of your bike. I personally prefer the Elite Chrono Style bottles in terms of how they look on particularly a matte black bike, but the Ahyka bottles look fine as well. In terms of how they dispense water, they all have the same mechanism, which is you kind of just, use gravity and you just squeeze it. But if you put it upside down, it does kind of leak, which can be a bit annoying. And if you go over a pothole or a bump, water can spill out. So that's not ideal. This one, by contrast, it doesn't really leak at all. Okay, so if you just hold it, it won't leak. And then you just squeeze it to eject the water. So I think the mechanism on the Trek style bottles is definitely a lot better for making sure you're not losing any fluid on your ride. So overall, I think for most riders, you should probably go with the Ahyka bottle. It will make your bike go faster. There's not really any downside to using the bottle, and it's very reliable and quite cheap as well. If you're riding predominantly on flat roads and you're mainly riding solo, then you could consider these bottles. But keep in mind that there is a small chance if you go over a pothole that they could come out. 2 other things I want to add is that it does actually take a bit of practice to get the hand motion of storing and releasing this water bottle without looking while you're riding. And if you're not familiar with that mechanism, it could be a bit dangerous if you're looking down in a group ride. Whereas the Ahyka bottles are a lot easier to store and release without looking. And the final thing is, I have also tried the plastic locking mechanism that comes with both the original Elite Chrono CX bottles and some of the AliExpress copies, but I really do not recommend that because I found that the bottles did not lock strongly at all. So let me know if you guys have tried any Aero bottles and what your thoughts are, and make sure to subscribe for more videos. Thank you.